What's good, Ravens fans? Today we are breaking down the defensive player rankings for the Baltimore Ravens. You guys saw I broke down the player rankings last week for the offense. Now we're going to go to the defense, and we're going to hop right in to our first 5 players. Remember, this goes up and it will change over time, and it's not just based on how good you are, but also your impact to the team. So first, we're going to start off with Simpson. The reason is he has to replace Patrick Queen this year, and I think he is going to be able to do that. They have almost the exact same skill set, right? It took Patrick Queen about 4 years to really achieve what he can be in this league, a side-to-side linebacker. Simpson has the same ability to do that, and I think he will do that. I don't know if it'll be this year, but the thing that Patrick Queen didn't have, that Simpson does have, is Roqaun Smith. Can Roqaun really elevate him to see where he'll be as the second in command in that linebacking core? We'll see. T. Jones, we go into him. T. Jones had a great year last year, but was inconsistent in a lot of ways. In particular, I thought there was some inconsistencies in this third down play. This kind of led to him many times getting taken off of that third down team until other people got injured in the season. But again, he's good, has a lot of potential, and I think he'll do it. I put Millette on here as a cornerback. He was very impressive to me last year, filling in for a lot of our injuries at that cornerback position, in particular that slot corner. He can do it all, the things that the Ravens ask you to do, blitz, cover man-to-man in that slot position. So he deserved to be on this list. He'll be in competition with some of the people who are coming back, and this is kind of a prediction for me with Pepe Williams coming back. Might take his spot. I have him on here, but we'll see. And then Brent Urban, simply because, guys, Brent is just very, very good. And I think there's a chance that he will have a bigger role, but he's so consistent. I think he'll stay in this last spot for a long time, to be honest. All right, so now we go up a level. Marlon Humphrey had a down year last year. Injuries plagued him. The different positions that he had to play. When you had Marcus Peters on one side, Humphrey kind of knew where he was. And this Mike McDonald scheme that we had last year, he was playing in a different position, and that is led to some of his inconsistency. I do think it was mainly injuries, but he had a down year. I think he can have that all-pro year again. We'll see how he does. Kyle Van Noy was our best pass rusher last year. I only have him here just because even though I still think he's our best pass rusher, he's an older guy, man. And I would be disappointed if these next 2 guys don't come and take the mantle and step up. And that's Owe and Ojabo. Ojabo is still young. Owe, it's time for Owe to put it up, right? I've been talking about some players who I feel like kind of rest on their laurels. Owe has been one of them. We're going to talk about some things in a different video about how he has a pretty good win rate when it comes to getting off his blocker, but for some reason he doesn't get sacks. He wins one-on-ones at a very average to above average level, but just can't finish off with a sack, which is weird because he has the actual physical ability to do that. Ojabo is just young. Depending on how great he plays this year, he can make a jump, and so we'll see how he finishes off the season. But I do think he needs to take a step up, but Owe and Kyle Van Noy, I think, will do a bulk of the pass rushing duties here. Now, let's get to some of the top players. I'm going to go Madubuike in this spot. He was so excellent last year. For some reason, I kind of had a vibe that anytime like people ask about his production to the Ravens coaches and the Ravens team, defensive coordinator, John Harbaugh, they kind of was like, it's a part of the scheme. But when you watch the win rates and when you watch the film, I think it was more one-on-ones that they wanted to give him credit for. And now, again, it was a contract year last year. So when it's a contract year, people stop saying glowing things about you in order to get that money right. But I think he has a potential to be one of the best players on this entire team, not just this defense. His pass rushing ability puts him as the top DT on our team. Number 2 DT, more of a nose tackle, is Pierce, though. I mean, he's just the best run stopper in the AFC North, in my opinion. Now, he doesn't have the other tools and pass rushing that other defensive tackles have. But when it comes to stopping the run, there's no one better, honestly, when it comes to technique, when it comes to the want-to, right? Because, a lot of run blocking is want-to. Run stopping is want-to. And he has it. Now, will he take a step up? I don't think so, just because, again, he's an old dog, and how many times do old dogs learn new tricks? We'll see. And we'll see, again, the new defensive coordinator might add into that. But I have him in a good position at the top half of our defense. And then Brandon Stephens. In my opinion, Brandon Stephens was the best cornerback last season. When it comes to play, he improved so much from some of his terrible seasons that I've seen. I've seen him have seasons where I was begging John Harbaugh to take him off the field, right? Begging him. I would have paid money to John, right, to get him off the field. I would have bought John and his entire family Christmas presents, right, to get him off the field. But last year, I was begging John to make sure he stays on the field. Last year, he was just so excellent. And people attacked him last year, right? A lot of the great cornerbacks, they earned their reputations. People don't really attack them like that. People attacked Brandon, and he kept on delivering, and I thought he was excellent, which is why he's so high on my list. Now we're going to get to the elite of the elite, right? And a lot of you guys might be mad. Y'all might say I disrespected Roqaun. Roqaun, in my opinion, is great. He is, in my opinion, a top 2 linebacker in the game. I think that he is simply the cog that makes our team good, right? If you put him into any defense, the defense will be good, right? And I think that deserves to be the number 2 highest rated player on my list. And now I do have Marcus Williams. Now this is projection too. Marcus Williams had a down season. He's injury prone for us, right? Beginning of the season, maybe not, but the last 2 seasons, I mean, he always is getting nicks and is missing games. But when he came here, he was the best free safety in the National Football League. I still think he has that ability, which is why I have him here at number 3. Now, was he better than Madubuike last year? Pierce, Brandon Stephens? I would say no. I would even argue that Van Noy might have been better just because of them being on the field. But I do think this year he will take that step up and be the 3rd best player on our team. But number 1, guys, my favorite player, and this, again, some bias, I said that Roquan Smith always makes your team good. Kyle Hamilton is what takes your team from good to great, right? His ability to do anything at a high level, right? We saw him last year be a run stopper in many situations, be a pass rusher in many situations, be a deep safety in many situations, play tight ends in many situations as a Mike as the Will, and then in many situations play receivers as a slot corner. He does them all at the highest of levels, and is really what makes this defense scary, in my opinion. Regardless of how you want to say the defense performed in various games, the fact of the matter is the defense only allowed Patrick Mahomes, I believe, 17 points. That's the truth. And a big reason of that was Roquan Smith, but a bigger reason of that was Kyle Hamilton. Is because even though Travis Kelce was eating, don't get me wrong, Travis Kelce had a good game, but giving up, let's say you give up 90 yards to Travis Kelce with one person on him, that's a win, right? That's a win because no one else can get hot. And that's what we did. And I thought he was super impressive all throughout the year, made big plays. And so that is why I have him as the top player on the Ravens Space defensive player rankings. I want to know what you guys think about this. And again, this will change. This will morph. People will move up and down. But I need you guys to tell me, bro, you're crazy. Roquan should be number 1. And I'll respond to you guys in the comments. I think Kyle, but once the games start getting played, we'll update this. Like I said, I will update this, I think, at the end of the preseason. Though, again, we'll see people at the bottom kind of change. The top probably won't change that much. But this is how I feel. This is what I think. So you guys, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Go Ravens.